What if I told you that Boo from Monsters, Inc. becomes a time-traveling witch? Andy's mom used to own Jessie, and every single Pixar movie is actually one massive connected story. Today, we're diving into the 12 craziest Pixar theories that will completely change how you watch these movies. Let's get weird. The Pixar Shared Universe Theory. Okay, so this is the big one. According to theorist John Negroni, every single Pixar movie exists in one giant timeline, spanning from prehistoric times to the far future. And I mean everything connects. It starts with Brave in ancient Scotland, then The Good Dinosaur, where dinosaurs never went extinct. This actually matters because fewer extinct dinosaurs means less oil in the ground, which creates an energy crisis thousands of years later. Fast forward to our modern era with Toy Story, Cars, The Incredibles. Then humanity destroys the planet in WALL-E, and we all evacuate to space. But here's where it gets wild. The animals we left behind? They evolve into the monsters we see in Monsters Incorporated, and they're literally powered by human emotions. And those famous Easter eggs everyone loves? The Pizza Planet truck, characters appearing across movies? Those aren't just fun references. According to this theory, they're proof that it's all one continuous story. Disney even released a video highlighting these connections, basically saying, yeah, maybe we planned this all along. Boo is the witch from Brave. This one's gonna blow your mind. Remember Little Boo from Monsters, Inc.? Well, fans think she grows up to become the witch in Brave. But wait, how does a modern toddler become a medieval witch? Time travel, baby! The theory goes that after Sully leaves, Boo becomes obsessed with finding her kitty again. She learns that the doors don't just transport monsters through space, they go through time too. So Boo masters magic, travels back to medieval Scotland where wood is plentiful for making doors, and becomes the witch we see in Brave. And here's the kicker. In the witch's cottage, there's literally a carving of Sully hidden among her woodwork. Plus, the Pizza Planet truck appears as a wooden toy. The witch also has this habit of disappearing through doorways, just like someone using monster portals. The theory suggests Boo spent centuries leaving these Easter eggs throughout time, desperately searching for her monster friend. It's heartbreaking when you think about it. She never gave up. Andy's mom used to own Jessie. This theory connects two generations of Toy Story in the most emotional way possible. You know Jessie's heartbreaking backstory with her original owner, Emily? Well, fans think Emily grew up to become Andy's mom. The evidence is actually pretty solid. In the first Toy Story, Andy wears this red cowboy hat that doesn't match Woody's outfit at all. But it's identical to Jessie's hat, except Andy's hat is missing the white ribbon band. And if you look closely, there's a faded line where that ribbon used to be. Now remember Jessie's flashback. Little Emily wore that exact same hat while playing with Jessie. When Emily eventually donates Jessie, she keeps the hat. The theory is that Emily kept that hat her whole life and eventually gave it to her son Andy. Plus, Emily has auburn hair, just like Andy's mom. And we never learn either character's full name. It would mean Andy unknowingly reunited Jessie with her original owner's family. Talk about coming full circle. Oh, and by the way, if you're enjoying these wild theories, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button. These connections just keep getting crazier. Chef Skinner told Muntz about smart animals. Okay, this one's a deep cut. How do you connect a rat chef in Paris to an old explorer in South America? According to Pixar theorists, Chef Skinner from Ratatouille is directly responsible for Charles Muntz's obsession with intelligent animals in Up. Think about it. In Ratatouille, Skinner gets humiliated when the world discovers that a rat can cook better than him. His reputation is destroyed, and he basically disappears from the story. But what if he didn't just disappear? The timeline works perfectly. Ratatouille happens in the early 2000s, Up is set a few years later. What if Skinner, furious about being outcooked by a rodent, started spreading word about animals developing human-like intelligence? Enter Charles Muntz, who's already obsessed with capturing rare birds. Suddenly, he hears rumors about super-intelligent animals, and boom, that's what inspires him to invent those voice translator collars for his dogs. There's even a postcard in Andy's room in Toy Story 3 addressed to Carl and Ellie, suggesting Up's adventure hasn't happened yet. So the timeline adds up perfectly for Skinner's humiliation to plant the seed in Muntz's head. Allinol and By and Large are the same company. Here's a corporate conspiracy theory that connects Cars 2 to WALL-E in the most sinister way possible. You know Allinol, that fake green energy company from Cars 2, and By and Large, the evil megacorporation that destroyed Earth and WALL-E? Same company. First clue is linguistic genius. All in all basically means the same thing as by and large. It's not just a coincidence, it's a rebrand. But it goes deeper. In Cars 2, Allinol was sabotaging their own green fuel to create an energy crisis and force everyone back to oil. Classic evil corporation move, right? Well, by the time of WALL-E, By and Large has taken over literally everything and polluted the entire planet. You can actually spot BNL products throughout the Pixar universe. There's a BNL battery in Toy Story 3, and they're referenced in Finding Nemo's news articles. The theory is that Allinol successfully rebranded itself as By and Large and expanded their evil operation from just energy manipulation to complete world domination. Both companies care more about profits than life itself. It's the same corporate DNA, just evolved over time. Edna Mode planned Syndrome's death. No capes! Edna Mode's famous rule isn't just about fashion. According to this dark theory, it's about murder. Specifically, murdering Syndrome. So, here's the theory. When Syndrome was planning his fake hero scheme, he secretly commissioned Edna to design his costume. But Edna, being incredibly well-informed about everything, figured out his evil plan. So, she gave him exactly what he asked for, with one fatal addition. Notice how Syndrome is literally the only character in The Incredibles who wears a cape. Edna refuses to put capes on the heroes' suits because she knows they're dangerous. She even shows that whole montage of supers dying because their capes got snagged. But she makes an exception for Syndrome. She gives him this long, flowing cape that's just begging to get caught in something. And guess how Syndrome dies? His cape gets sucked into a jet engine. The theory says Edna saw this coming from a mile away. She knew exactly what would happen to someone with a cape around aircraft. Edna Mode literally tailored Syndrome's fate. Bing Bong was a real monster. Riley's imaginary friend Bing Bong from Inside Out might not have been imaginary at all. According to this theory, he was actually a monster from Monsters Incorporated who visited Riley when she was little. Think about the timeline. Inside Out happens after Monsters, Inc., when the company switched from scaring kids to making them laugh for energy. So what if Bing Bong was one of the monsters assigned to make Riley giggle? Look at this guy. He's part cat, part elephant, part dolphin. That's not a normal imaginary friend design. That's a monster. Plus, Riley remembers him coming through her closet, which is exactly how monsters enter kids' rooms. The theory suggests Bing Bong would visit Riley every night to play and collect her laughter as energy. She loved these visits so much that, in her mind, she created an imaginary friend based on her real monster buddy. When Riley got older and didn't need an imaginary friend anymore, Bing Bong stopped visiting. That's why her memories of him started fading in Inside Out. But here's the heartbreaking part. When Bing Bong sacrifices himself and fades away in the memory dump, that's just Riley's memory of him disappearing. The real Bing Bong might still be out there in Monstropolis, making other kids laugh, and not knowing that Riley still remembered him all those years. Randall was Andy's monster. Speaking of monsters visiting kids, here's a connection that'll make you rewatch Toy Story differently. Randall Boggs, the chameleon villain from Monsters, Inc., was the monster assigned to Andy's room. The evidence is hidden in plain sight. In Monsters, Inc., when Randall is practicing his camouflage abilities, he tests blending into different backgrounds. One of them is this blue sky with white clouds pattern. Sound familiar? That's Andy's bedroom wallpaper. Think about it. Randall specializes in turning invisible and lurking in corners. Perfect skill set for haunting a kid's bedroom at night. The theory is that all of Andy's childhood nightmares were actually Randall doing his job as a scarer. There's more evidence, too. In Toy Story 3, there's a drawing taped to Andy's closet door that looks suspiciously like it could be Randall. Maybe Andy drew his monster at some point. And in Monsters University, the door Randall practices on matches Andy's door design, white. The timeline works perfectly. By the time we see Andy in Toy Story, he's moved past being scared of monsters, which explains why we never see him afraid at night. But his toys might have witnessed those late-night Randall visits, without Andy ever knowing. Jack Jack terrorized Monstropolis. Remember in Monsters, Inc. when those news reporters describe a terrifying encounter with a human child? A kid flew right over me and blasted a car with its laser vision. Well, fans think that wasn't Boo. It was Jack Jack from The Incredibles. Here's the thing. Boo doesn't have laser vision or the ability to fly. But you know who does? Baby Jack Jack, with his dimension-hopping powers from Incredibles 2. The theory goes that when Jack Jack phases into other dimensions, one of those dimensions is actually Monstropolis. So, during that chaotic restaurant scene the monsters describe, Jack Jack accidentally popped into their world. Let's check the abilities. The monsters say the kid flew around. Jack Jack can levitate. They mention laser vision. Jack Jack has laser eyes. One monster got picked up and shaken like a doll. Jack Jack has telekinetic powers. Every single ability matches. This would actually explain why monsters are so terrified of human children in the first place. Maybe superpowered babies have been accidentally dimension hopping into Monstropolis throughout history, creating these legends about toxic, dangerous human kids. Andy's dad left during a divorce. Throughout the entire Toy Story trilogy, there's one character who's completely missing: Andy's father. And according to this theory, there's a really sad reason why. The theory suggests Andy's parents were going through a divorce during the first Toy Story, and his dad basically walked out on the family. The evidence is actually pretty heartbreaking when you notice it. First off, Andy's dad isn't in any family photos around the house. If he had died, you'd expect at least one memorial picture, right? But there's nothing. Also, Andy's mom isn't wearing a wedding ring during his birthday party scene. Then there's the move itself. They're going from a house to what appears to be a smaller place, suggesting they're downsizing financially. Andy's mom seems stressed, handling 2 kids by herself. This actually adds a whole new layer to Andy's relationship with his toys. His playtime with Woody and Buzz could be him working through the absence of his father figure. Some fans even interpret Woody as the old father figure and Buzz as the new father figure in Andy's imagination. Nemo doesn't actually exist. Okay. This theory is going to hurt. What if Nemo never survived that Barracuda attack, and the entire movie is just Marlin processing his grief? What if finding Nemo is actually finding no one? That's not just wordplay. Nemo literally means no one in Latin. So finding Nemo translates to finding no one. According to this theory, all of Marlin's eggs were destroyed in that opening attack, but he was so traumatized that he imagined one survived. Think about Marlin's behavior throughout the movie. He's incredibly overprotective and anxious, which makes sense if he's dealing with massive trauma. And Dory's short-term memory loss could represent how Marlin sometimes chooses to forget reality. Here's something interesting. Dory never remembers Nemo's name correctly. She calls him Elmo, Bingo, Fabio. What if that's because there's no real Nemo to remember? The theory suggests that Marlin's entire journey across the ocean is really him working through the stages of grief. He's not literally searching for his son, he's searching for closure and the will to keep living after losing everything. Now, this is obviously a much darker interpretation than what Pixar intended. In the actual movie, Nemo clearly exists and interacts with other characters. But the linguistic connection and the psychological reading have made this theory stick around as a thought-provoking alternative interpretation. The Pizza Planet truck is everywhere for a reason. Let's end with everyone's favorite Pixar Easter egg, the Pizza Planet truck. This yellow delivery truck shows up in almost every Pixar movie, and fans have 2 very different theories about why. Theory 1, it's just a fun signature that the animators include as a tradition. Theory 2, Pizza Planet is a multiversal corporation that somehow exists in every era and dimension of the Pixar universe. Think about how ridiculous this is. The truck appears in A Bug's Life as a regular truck. In Cars, it's literally a character named Todd. In medieval Scotland in Brave, it's carved as a wooden toy in the witch's hut. In the far future of WALL-E, B&L probably absorbed Pizza Planet into their corporate empire. According to the Boo is the Witch theory, some of these appearances are actually Boo planting Easter eggs throughout time as she searches for Sully. She's literally carving Pizza Planet trucks into history. But here's my favorite interpretation. Pizza Planet is just the most successful business in the entire Pixar universe. They survived the robot apocalypse, they adapted to a world of talking cars, they even figured out interdimensional delivery. Pizza Planet is basically the Starbucks of the multiverse. Whether it's a running gag or proof of connected timelines, the Pizza Planet truck has become the symbol of Pixar's shared universe theory. So there you have it. 12 Pixar theories that range from heartwarming to absolutely devastating. Which theory convinced you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed diving into the weird world of Pixar conspiracies, subscribe for more theories that'll change how you see your favorite movies. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.